The material contained in the following program is designed for informational purposes only. It is not intended to replace existing training policies or guidelines of individual law enforcement agencies.
This is stuff you never ever learned at the Academy. I'm Ron Barber. A woman pulled over by a Georgia cop claims American laws do not apply to her. The officer said she'd been driving erratically and he felt she might be drunk. But she said she only adhered to this, the American Global ID Liberty Pass, and was a member of the Nation of Moors, and that her pass was good for 177 years. The woman refused to roll down her window, refused to get out of her vehicle.
And you had no right to pull me over, so there you go. Look at that. I don't want to talk.
Well, sure. Do you have your driver's license with you?
That's a man's driver's license. Leave me alone.
Police ultimately did pull her out, but not without continued protests.
Move out of the way. I'm going to get out.
You
Move, I'm
step
going
out.
to kick your
This appears to be like a sovereign citizen. She claimed that she doesn't need a ID to travel or a driver's license to maneuver, she claimed.
Sovereign citizen stops can be extremely dangerous. In Volume 13, Program 12 from In the Line of Duty, 2 Arkansas officers are shot to death by sovereign citizens.
Where is your emergency?
Exit 275 on 40. These guys just shot a police officer right on the exit.
The police chief in the small community, the father of one of the murdered officers, says the very first thing cops need to do during such encounters is to shut them down until backup arrives.
And I find Brandon lying on his back, facing up, with his .40 caliber weapon still in his hand, and there were spent cartridges around him, so I knew he'd been in a gunfight for his life.
What would you have done in the Georgia stop? I'll have the rest of the story in just a moment. Recently, news articles have pointed out that food lines have, in some cases, been longer than those during the pandemic. That some law enforcement agencies have even curtailed patrols due to the surging cost of fuel. But one thing hasn't changed. In these incredibly inflationary times, In the Line of Duty remains the very best, most economical online training for law enforcement. Here's the proof. To receive our online training for a full year, for departments between 2 and 10 officers, the cost is $395 in total. Between 11 and 25 officers or students, $595. 26 to 50, $895. 51 to 100, $995. Between 101 and 150, $1695. 151 to 200 officers or students, $1995. For 200 or more, please contact us. Our pricing, our product, our customer service are unbeatable. Please visit us at lineofduty.com. Simply click here to get a free 2-week trial or to purchase individual programs of your choosing. Questions? 800-462-5232 or email kelly@lineofduty.com. Now for the rest of the story. The woman was charged with DUI, driving with a suspended or revoked license, improper lane change, failure to display a license upon demand, and possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. She claimed she had been talking to her king and smoking marijuana when the officers spotted her parked behind a Planet Fitness at 1:30 a.m. The arresting officer also made note of the fact that he handcuffed the woman, checked the fit, and double-locked for safety. She had had an active warrant in another jurisdiction for failure to appear. After 2 days in jail, she made bond and was released. How dangerous can stops of sovereign citizens and their ilk be? Watch this preview from Volume 13, Program 12 of In the Line of Duty. A broad daylight stop of two violent sovereign citizens erupts into the horrific murders of two Arkansas officers.
Oh my God.
It was new to many in law enforcement prior to May the 20th, 2010. But that's the reason we're out doing what we're doing now, and particularly with you, so we can get the word out and don't be fooled by these individuals that's carrying a clergy sticker or carrying they have a Bible. I think they had a Bible in the car with Jerry and Joe Kane, and you know, he preached religion all the time, but yet he's a vicious murderer, or was.
And that stuff you never ever learned at the Academy. For more than a quarter century, our word has been our bond at In the Line of Duty, proudly serving the thin blue line with life-saving officer safety training.